YouTube, it's Chris. Welcome back. This video is a basic setup tutorial on how you can install server or enterprise on your machine. Link down in the description. Click on my server enterprise install guide right here on GitHub. Say you wanted to pick a download. It's pretty straightforward. You can just follow the instructions. As an example, say you want to go on Windows 10 server. Yeah, just click this. I'll just walk you guys through it. You'll click download the ISO. Okay, you could just enter some fake details here. All right, let's download now. Once you've done that, you'll want to click on the ISO download 64-bit edition. So we'll click on Rufus and we'll download Rufus. I'd recommend the portable version. So that would be portable right here. We'll grab that. If you plugged in USB stick, it should be recognized here. You shouldn't have to format it. We need to select the ISO. So the ISO I've actually got in downloads, and click open, and then go ahead and click start. Now this one, you need to make sure that you don't screw up. You don't want to use any auto unattended that's made through Rufus. It's going to more than likely brick the install process. So please remove these and leave them completely blank. Say you're on Intel i225V or Intel i226V, you're going to need to edit the driver files to add support in the driver files to allow you to install it. As an example, the Z790 Hero. So we would go to the BIOS page, download the driver. I'll extract the driver. Okay, and we're only going to need 3 files from the driver. So we'll go in here. Actually not going to need any of this stuff. All we are going to need is the cat file, inf file, and the sys file. Okay, e2f.inf, and we'll go edit. Notepad++ will make it a little bit easier for you guys. We need to find this text here, so I'm gonna search right here. Okay, and under here we're actually going to need to add support for server that way. So we're going to need a copy of these, and we can paste it anywhere here. I'll just paste it at the bottom. Okay, so that should get us out of trouble, and I'll just clean up these lines. If Rufus is done, which it looks like it is, okay, we want to drag the files to the USB stick, make my life easier, and we will simply bring it over across to the USB stick, and that'll be that. Now, there's another thing some of you guys might need to do. You'll want to disable BitLocker in Windows settings if you've got it on. Most of you won't, but some OEMs and pre-builds and laptops will. If you don't disable this, you're going to have a hard time wiping your drive or even getting access to your hard drive back. So just make sure BitLocker is turned off. On some OEMs and laptops, if it's a fairly slow machine, this could take quite a long time. For now, it's time to go to BIOS. We've got to restart PC spam F2 or delete, go to BIOS. And we need to enable trusted platform module for the Windows 11 build. If you're using the Windows 11 build, disable secure boot. Usually you don't have to, but if you're on an OEM or pre-built laptop or a laptop or something, you're going to have to change boot order to USB, install the ISO, then install network driver. So let's go straight to BIOS. So every BIOS is a little different. I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna have to go to boot. At least in particular on my board, secure boot is in security. Go to secure boot based on this board. In advanced trusted computing, enable this if you're using the Windows 11 LTSC and server builds. You can leave it disabled if you're only using the Windows 10 builds, and that's just a precaution for some of you guys on OEM builds or laptops. Might have a hard time installing it. Sometimes disabling secure boot might help you. That's pretty much it in BIOS. We'll go to boot and we'll change boot option 1 to my USB stick. Okay, and then we'll boot straight to it. So we'll save and exit setup. Okay, because we don't have a custom auto unattended, we're just gonna have to go through the prompt. Don't bother about changing like language and stuff. You can do that later. Yeah, we'll go install now. Pretty straightforward, very similar to like a normal Windows install basically. Now if you're on server, it's very important that you click desktop experience. If you don't click desktop experience, you're going to be screwed. Don't bother with the data center. You just want standard evaluation desktop experience. So we'll click next on that. LTSC is a lot more straightforward. Enterprise, it comes by default or desktop build. Okay, we'll go custom here. Now let's pretend that like drive 1 is like where I had my Windows install. Let's say I'm doing a fresh Windows install. I will delete all partitions on drive 1. So delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that, and then click drive 1, which would be completely wiped, and press next. All right, so we're starting now. Some of you might need to go back to BIOS and change the boot order to Windows Boot Manager. It depends on the board, honestly. But just to show you guys, we'll go back to BIOS. Make sure boot option 1 is Windows Boot Manager. Then save changes and exit. So just going through the install process right now. Our server's going to force you to create a password. We can bypass this later, okay? If you're not sharing files over network, you can press no. If you are, press yes. Click don't show message again, okay? Basically click manage server, manage properties, uncheck that one, check that one, and now server manager won't open on boot every time, okay? And my LAN card's supported, so I've kind of already got internet. So we'd open up CMD, okay? You don't need to worry about admin because you are the admin account. Okay, we'd need to BCD edit set load options, disable integrity checks. So I'll just paste that in here. Test signing on. So just paste that in here. And no integrity checks. We'll paste that in here. So now we'll have to actually restart for these to apply. So we'll restart and then we can install the driver. Okay, you guys should see test mode on the desktop. So we're chilling. Go to our USB stick, LAN driver. We'll copy this address. Press Windows key X so you can search device manager in start menu. Click device manager. It'll be under here somewhere. It might say unknown Ethernet LAN card or something like that. So let's pretend that's that. Okay. Right click and go update driver browse. We'll paste that address there and then we'll go next. Okay. And it should let you install the driver. So once the driver is installed, okay, we'll have to turn that stuff back off. So we'll need to undo the changes that we just made. So we'll undo the changes that we just made. Okay, we're going to paste these in command prompt. So that one, this one, and this one. Your server can be a bit of a pain for some things, but once you got it set up, it's quite nice. Okay, so we'll have to restart for that to apply. So we'll do that. We'll hit restart. Hopefully you guys should have Ethernet now. So what we want to do is we want to go to PowerShell. All right, so we need to run this command line to allow us to convert it to a normal edition. So I'm going to copy that line. I'm going to open PowerShell with the run command. I'm going to paste that in here. Okay. And then we'll just wait. It might take some time. If this bugs out at all, usually it might bug out on Windows 10 if you're doing updates on Windows 10 server. So if it's bugging out, restart the PC and then reapply it. It didn't bug out for me, which is great. So that's that. And we have another thing we need to run in PowerShell. Now, because we're going to be using Windows 10 Server, we're going to need to enter the generic server key. So because we're on Windows 10 Server, we need to enter that in PowerShell. So I'm going to copy that, I'm going to enter that in PowerShell, press enter. It's going to install and convert us from the standard edition, the evaluation edition to the normal edition. So we'll simply press Y. And it will restart and get us out of the evaluation edition. Okay, I've restarted the PC and now we're on the standard edition. As you can see here, which is nice, not eval edition because the eval edition expires in like 180 days and then you get bugged. It gets quite annoying. Okay, so to activate, I'm not going to show this on YouTube because it's technically quite a gray area. But here's some links. They're open source, they're free, they're safe. You can activate your Windows permanently. So if you follow the instructions, it should be pretty straightforward. As you can see, Windows isn't activated. In my opinion, we shouldn't be paying for Windows considering how much they collect our data and make money off us. I genuinely think they should make a gaming build, but hey, I could argue about this all day. It's a matter of opinion. You can either just not activate your Windows at all. That's fine. Or you could just do it this way through mass Grable, but I'm not going to show you this on YouTube. Okay, so if you're gonna, this wasn't a problem on Windows 11 server, but on Windows 10 server, GeForce wouldn't work without this feature. So we're going to install this. Okay, I've copied that line there. Weirdly enough, it requires a wireless networking feature for GeForce to work, which makes no sense for me. GeForce wouldn't boot up without this. Once again, if this is bugging out or not working, restart the PC and then try to rerun this. Okay, but yeah, you shouldn't need a restart for this. Once you've done that, you should be fine. Just installing the NVIDIA driver. Now, what's really nice on the new NVIDIA drivers, you don't have to actually install the NVIDIA control panel. It just works. Whereas I remember doing this on 2019 server and 2022 server quite a long time ago on the older NVIDIA drivers on an older graphics card, and you had to do some trickery and custom install the NVIDIA control panel through PowerShell. Well, you don't have to do that here, which is great. Now AMD chipset driver is not working. Okay, and I'll show you that as an example. I'll just download them now. I'll just search AMD drivers, support, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for chipset drivers and I am on AM5 and my board is a Z670E. So I'll submit that, grab the latest, whatever, download that. Pretty straightforward. Now, because server gives you full control, it's not going to randomly install drivers and stuff. Like, that's up to you. Okay. Now, when we run this, and you guys on Intel as well, if you usually you don't have to worry about chipset drivers, right? You're like, usually they don't make a difference. Weirdly enough, on my X3D chip on AMD, I had worse performance on Modern Warfare 2 benchmark without the chipset drivers. I couldn't explain that if you guys saw my last video. Everything else was fine with or without chipset drivers, but I mean, it's not going to do any harm either. So let's just get all this mess sorted out in Device Manager so it's not unknown, just to show you guys. Okay, because usually Windows Update, not always, but usually Windows Update would take care of that for you on a normal Windows build. On server, it's not. On server, you have full control. So as it says, unable to install AMD chipset drivers. I mean, we could probably modify the driver files, but no need. Now, Intel's a little different. You might need to actually extract the driver, okay, and then install in Device Manager. With AMD, because I just ran that installer, the driver's already going to be extracted in C drive, AMD, chipset software packages, and then IO driver. So here are all the drivers. I'm going to copy this address, okay, and go to Device Manager, and I'm going to manually select all of these, go update driver, browse, paste the address in here, and boom, it's just going to install all of them. So I'm going to do that for all of the unknown devices here. Okay, update driver, browse. It'll remember the address from before, which is nice. So I'm just going to do that for all of them here. Okay, so I'll just show you guys a few more. All of them here. Now, AMD graphics drivers are a weird one. I don't have enough people or enough info testing this. I do remember having issues with 2019 server and 2022 server with my 6900 XT. You guys might have some issues too, having a hard time installing them or maybe not working. What will work is extracting the driver and installing it, the folder, via Device Manager. That should get you out of trouble. I don't know if all the driver features are going to work. I don't know if the AMD control panel will bug out, but I was somehow able to get it to work on server with my AMD card. Somewhat, no promises there. But if it's that much of a problem, I'd probably recommend LTSC at that point. Hopefully more of you guys can post down in the comments below, get in our Discord, get on my GitHub report errors and bugs, just so we know more info about AMD drivers on server, because I don't know enough at the moment, but hopefully they can get most of you out of trouble. And for other drivers, I mean, if you're having a hard time getting anything, like I did hear of someone in our Discord recently having a hard time getting his Xbox controller to work because there's no game bar, no Xbox stuff on server. He simply just used Snappy Driver Installer Origin. Okay, he downloaded that and it grabbed the Xbox driver for him. So if you guys have any issues with certain drivers, you can simply go here. Now we've already disabled Server Manager on boot, so that's great. Now I'm sick of entering my password every time I boot, so we want to get rid of that. So we want to open GP Edit and we want to make these changes, okay? So I'm going to run GP Edit, go to Windows Settings, okay? And we want to go to Security. We want to go to Account Policies and then Password Policy. We just want to change a few things in here. At least for me here, I just need you to change that to 0, okay? And then this one to disabled. That should be it. If that didn't get enforced, you can just restart the PC if it doesn't let you remove the password yet. So Group Policy Editor gets enforced. Now I want to change the password to blank. So I shouldn't need to restart. Hopefully, you know, the Group Policy already enforced that through registry, but I'm not sure. We'll find out in a second. So we're going to go to User Accounts. That's pretty straightforward. User Accounts, User Accounts. Imagine another account, sure. Click on that, change the password, enter my current password. So here we go, change password. Okay, so I actually got that bug, well, not a bug, I just, Group Policy wasn't enforced. So let's restart the computer so Group Policy gets enforced. Leave those blank, click change password, and boom, that worked. So obviously Group Policy wasn't enforced. Now it's been enforced after a restart, and we're able to completely remove the password. So now when we restart or boot up, it'll just take us straight to the desktop. Now, if shutdown event tracker annoys you, like right clicking this thing going to restart or something, and then it'll ask you, that can get annoying. All right. So to remove that, we can do this in the in group policy editor. So in GP edit, all right. So GP edit, we need to go to administrative templates and system. So administrative templates and system. Okay. And it is display shutdown event tracker. So we want to set that to disabled, I believe. Let's just check that. Yeah, disabled. Set that to disabled. And I really should have installed a graphics driver because this is quite annoying. But we'll press apply on that. And then with any luck, hopefully it works straight away. Yep, it actually, that time group policy enforced it straight away. So as you see, they didn't have the little option coming up asking like why we restarted or why we shut down the PC. So that's pretty much it. Now I will install 10 server, 11 server, LTSC 10 and LTSC 11, just show you guys what the OS roughly looks like. All right, so this bit of the video is just to show you guys what each OS is going to look like and what you're kind of going to be dealing with. So I've decided to just do everything in a VM. That is, you know, just to make things a bit easier. But I mean, it's pretty similar to just like Windows 10, very, very basic. This is what you've got here. Okay, I've got a little check folder to save time. So we've got control panel apps, we've got Edge, okay, and we actually have the option to uninstall Edge, which is nice. Okay, we've got UWP apps. Have a look at those. Very, very basic. We have the option to uninstall Edge as well, which is cool. Okay. If you're unable to uninstall Microsoft Edge Update, you can use my script on GitHub through my optimization guide if you really want to completely nuke it properly. Legacy features. Let's see what we have in legacy features. So we are unable to open that because we need to manage that in Server Manager. Okay. Just search Server Manager. Can add or remove the legacy features, right? So that's why we're unable to open that. Okay, now I'll close that. We've got, let's have a look at the actual legacy features in a PowerShell window. Okay, this is an easier way for me to just show you guys what's deployed on this system if you're interested. Okay, so we have a few things enabled that we could probably disable, but I mean, it wouldn't improve performance. I'm just going to leave this here in the video. You guys can zoom in and have a look if you want, see the things that are actually enabled. All right. Just pause a little bit just in case you guys want to pause the video to see what features are enabled. You could technically more than likely disable most of these other than maybe NetFX 4. Might need NetFX 3 for some games. Yeah, NetFX 3 is disabled, so we could add that back. And some of you might need direct play as well for really old games, but usually for gamers, that's all you really need in here. Okay, UWP features. All right, they're the features that we have. You could remove them all if you want. I would probably recommend keeping Notepad. Yeah, I would keep Notepad. Definitely keep Notepad and probably Paint. Those are the things that I use a lot. Let's have a look at UWP features from, because sometimes there's extra features that you can't actually see in there. So this just shows everything that's deployed on the operating system. This looks pretty standard to just like a normal Windows 11 build, honestly. Scroll up there. This is just all languages and stuff. Yeah, looks like there might be download NLS sorting version server, like some extra features. Not too many in here compared to the legacy features. All right, so let's have a look at Defender. What's going on here? We've got Defender on. Like if any of you guys want to disable this, you can use my scripts if you like. But we have Firewall as well. This is a pretty basic Defender by the looks of things compared to, oh no, it has everything here. Control flow guide is on by default. So yeah, if you guys want to just nuke Defender or just disable it safely, you can. DEP is on. That should just be left alone anyway, in my opinion, but Firewall's on. And UAC, obviously we're running as the administrator account. Right, as you can see in users, administrator. So Yeah, that's pretty much it for Windows 10 Server. Really bare bones and basic. I appreciate that. Let's have a look at Task Manager here. Pretty basic. There's some VM things that are added just because I needed to transfer files across. They wouldn't be on there for you guys. And if you uninstalled Edge, you wouldn't have the Edge update running. But yeah, pretty basic install. I wish Windows kind of came like this by default, to be honest with you. All right, let's go test Windows 11 server. All right, got Windows 11 server installed 2025. So just so you guys know, this Windows edition, if you have an NVIDIA card, or maybe an AMD card too, should be WDDM 3.2. I can't physically show you this because I'm not emulating a graphics card through this VM. Let's have a look at control panel apps. We have snipping tool, remote desktop connection, paint, some C++ packages, and we can natively uninstall Edge, which is nice. Let's have a look at the UWP apps. The same thing again here. We have terminal, which most of us won't use. You can remove it if you want. We've got feedback. How you can remove it if you want. Something I forgot to mention about the Windows 10 build. It's the same as the Windows 11 server build. There's no game bar. There's no game stuff here. It's kind of nice. Like completely doesn't exist, right? So I mean, obviously you can do that with a custom ISO, but this is sort of native, so you're not going to have any sort of like event viewer errors or anything weird going like that in the back end of Windows. Not like that stuff really matters, but yeah, I just thought it was cool. Legacy features. Let's have a look at these. One thing, same thing again on Windows 10 Server. You have to manage that through Server Manager. All right, Server Manager there. UWP features. So let's have a look at the UWP features that we have here. This is why I don't like Windows 11, because the UI is so slow, but you can probably remove most of these. I would probably keep Notepad. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's have a look at legacy features. See if there's any sort of extra ones. Okay, it's going to take a little bit. So there are a couple of extras installed compared to normal Windows 11 build. Same thing again with Windows 10 Server. You could remove some of these. I wouldn't bother. It's not going to make a performance difference or anything, but I just wanted to show you guys. So we'll scroll up and then I'll just pause a little bit. If any of you guys are interested and want to pause the video. And just like I said before, if you're a gamer, you only really need NetFX 4, NetFX 3, and maybe the direct play thing for really old games. So you could add that in Server Manager if you needed. There's NetFX 3 there. And Server Core. Okay. Now, UWP features. Let's have a look at this. See if there's anything extra in here. VBS script. Interesting. Not much to talk about. I'll just pause where there's something in store, just for you guys who are curious. It's just language stuff. I don't need to worry too much about that. Azure Arc setup. Yeah. While that runs on startup, we can disable that. If you want, you can either do an auto runs or you can just, you know, turn it off there. Let's have a look at Defender, see if it's any different. Probably not that much different to 10 server, I'd imagine. Looks pretty much the same. Pretty much identical to the normal builds of Windows. And yeah, if you guys are curious, my optimization pack will work on LTSC and server fine. Windows is essentially all the same backend anyway. So if you wanted to disable it, you could through my pack. And DP's on and firewall's going to be on, of course. Now let's have a look at Task Manager, see what's running in the background. It's fairly clean. And you know, the cool thing about, I guess, this OS is like you could use over 500 Hz monitors. If you use 8000 Hz mice, it has the higher polling rate support, you know, better HDR support, stuff like that. But yeah, pretty bare minimal. Like I said before, you guys won't have VM stuff there. I don't know if I can show you the HDR settings in here. They look a little bit different. No, it's not showing it how it did. Don't think so. Yeah. No, only on my actual proper install with a graphics card driver. This looks a little different. Hags is in here too when you have the driver installed, and there's like an auto HDR setting in here too. It just looked a little different. I thought it was cool. Can't really show you guys that. All right, so I'll go install LTSC and on 10 and LTSC on 11. I'll show you guys that. Okay, we're on LTSC Windows 10 server. As you can see here, it's very minimal, basic. Have a look at our check folder here. Control panel apps, we have Edge. We can uninstall it. We have Edge WebView runtime, and we can uninstall it. That's very nice. UWP apps, let's have a look at those. And I don't know why Internet Explorer wants to open up. But yeah, we can actually natively uninstall. Can't natively uninstall Microsoft Edge Update for some reason. That's a little weird. I mean, you can nuke that with my script if you want. Have a look at legacy features. We can actually open this time. Sorry, I just realized we had the scaling set wrong, so that would have been really small text for you guys. So show you guys with a bigger text real quick. Okay. Legacy features there. That's a little bit bigger for you guys. This looks pretty similar to Windows, pretty much identical to normal Windows with all the features. Okay. Let's have a look at legacy features through PowerShell. Elevated permissions. Oh, that's right. So it looks like we're not the admin account. Makes sense. So I will run these as PowerShell as admin. Okay, so no forced admin account. This looks pretty standard here. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'll just pause the video if any of you guys are interested. I will pause the video if any of you are interested in seeing any of this. You want to know what's there and what's not. Okay. UWP features. What we have here. Remove both of these if you want. Won't make a difference in performance though. And UWP features. Right, have a look here. This looks very... It pretty much just seems like it's a build without like game bar and store. Have a look here. Oh no, there's the gaming stuff there. Right. Interesting. So no store. I mean, there's a way to add it back. No big deal. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, okay. Have a look at the Defender settings. I have no idea why this is opening with Internet Explorer. Some legacy thing, I guess. Opening UWP stuff, firewall notifications. This all looks very, very similar. Defender's pretty much the same throughout all of them. By the looks of things. Almost, anyway. Memory integrity. DP's on. Firewall's on. Yeah, UAC's off. And you can use your own account. When I did the install, it tried to get me to use a Microsoft account. I just, you know, pressed domain join instead. Created my own. That's nice. But yeah, it looks like it's just like Windows without UWP bloat and without the store. So that's kind of nice. I'd still prefer server personally, but I mean, this is a nice build for you guys who are on AMD cards and having some issues. Or maybe you have an X3D chip that you need to part cores with Game Bar or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. We need more of you to test it out there and let me know. Right. Get involved in the Discord if you can. Let's have a look at Task Manager. Okay. Internet Explorer's running, but it makes sense. We did open it. Unintentionally, mind you. Okay. So that's what we're looking at there. I'll go install LTSC Windows 11 build and we'll have a look at that. All right, we have LTSC Windows 11 Enterprise right here. Let's have a bit of a look. Look at the start menu there. The apps we've got. Okay. With the check folder, control panel apps. Let's have a look here. So we have Edge and we can't uninstall it. It's annoying, just like normal Windows. Let's have a look at UWP apps. Same thing again. Very similar to Windows 10 LTSC. Enterprise, they're the features there. Let's open up legacy features. We're not using a admin account, so we're going to have to run these as admin. All right, so here are the features enabled if any of you guys are interested. Don't see anything different. Windows Defender default definitions. I mean, yeah, that's all standard. All right. And now we're up to UWP features. Let's have a look at UWP features when Windows 11 is kind enough to load. And those are the very, very similar to normal Windows 11. Just looks like we have like less bloat basically. We have gaming here too, but no store, Xbox Game Bar, all that stuff. Okay, UWP features, if you guys are interested. Pause the video if you want to have a bit more of a look. Not much else to talk about. It's all language stuff. A lot in here. Hello face, all the usual stuff. App steps recorder. Okay, let's have a look at Defender. Defender doesn't like this for some reason. I don't know if this file is like blocked or something. Although those shortcuts didn't work. You're not sure what's going on with this build. I can't seem to open up Windows security for some reason. That will probably get fixed in updates. I will test updates in a second. We'll come back to Defender. I'll just throw that on the desktop to remind myself. DEP is obviously going to be on. Firewall. Yep, firewall's on. What else? Yeah, we're obviously using a local account. Now in the setup, I had to make sure I set this up as a domain join instead. The Windows 11 OOBE tried to trick me as per usual, but I was able to do domain join instead without anything, without bypassing OBE or anything. So I guess that's one thing nice about LTSC, I guess. Enterprise at 11. There's task manager there if you guys are interested. Now I've just had to update the GitHub guide specifically for converting LTSC from eval to normal edition. It's a bit of a different process. You basically need to put a certain file somewhere and then do a couple of things in command prompt. So it's different. I've updated it. So for you guys that want to convert eval to normal edition, you can just simply click download file. Here's the original link. There it is. It's in our downloads folder. We'll just extract it. Okay, then we'll open it up and we'll just run as administrator. And that should do it for us. My screens come up, just click run anyway. And now we just have to wait and it will restart. Ignore any error that comes up, it's fine. And that should convert us into the normal edition, not evaluation edition. And here we are. Here we're not in the evaluation edition anymore. Let's have a bit of a look. Make sure we're still on LTSC. We're still on LTSC. Apologies, Windows keeps changing the scaling every time I restart, which is annoying, but yeah, LTSC. And then let's have a bit of a look here. Go down to about. We are on Windows 11 Enterprise LTSC with, support for another 10 years. Well, 9 technically, but cool. And then same thing for activation. Same thing here. Like I said, I'm not going to show it on the YouTube video, but yeah, that's how to do that. So I will activate this and update Windows and see what's going on with Defender because that was sort of bugged. So anyway, guys, hopefully that gets you guys out of trouble. I've covered most things. If you're going to try a build like this, in my opinion, you might as well do server. I don't see any point in LTSC when you could just use home or pro. And if you want to debloat, you could just use my scripts. If you want to use my scripts from my optimization pack, they will work with server and LTSC flawlessly. If that's something that interests you. There's no performance difference between server and, enterprise and normal builds. Just thought it was a cool guide to do just in case any of you guys wanted to try these builds. I'm personally probably going to look at maining 2022 Windows 10 server at least for as long as possible until I'm forced to switch. You know, if graphics drivers drop support or a new card doesn't work on it, and then at that point I'll probably be forced, and I'll probably use 2025 server. But hope that helped you guys. Enjoy. See you around. Bye.